So we don't end on this subject. Let's get it. Let me get it out of the way. The Ethics Committee has said that Jim Graham, the council member from Ward 1, appears to have says it violated ethical rules, but
violated basic standards of how public officials are supposed to behave in the public's interest
because of the panel wasn't in place to govern. And then the Washington Post, in its latest, I might say, but strongest editorial, says Jim Graham should resign. I'm just wondering, have you paid much attention to this yet, or the commingling of Metro and city contracts, and do you have any thought about Jim Graham's behavior?
Well, again, there's a pending investigation involved in this by, I guess, law enforcement officials. So, one, I think we should let that investigation, continue to unfold. Secondly, this is an issue for the council to deal with. Having been the chairman of the council, I certainly know that, I don't want to step into the council's business. And I'm sure Chairman Mendelson will have an approach to this as well.
And just to wrap up the ethics issue, since you acknowledge we all know the federal investigation of your 2010 campaign is continuing. I was surprised in your State of the District speech, unless you ad-libbed it and I missed it, you didn't mention ethics, although you have proposed, and I think you've reintroduced ethical changes of banned corporate contributions or bundled contributions. You've got several things you've proposed. The council's moving slowly on ethics issues. Where are we in the city on this? Is there anything new you can say about the investigation, and how aggressively are you going to push the ethics in that order?
I think you've asked two questions,
Yes.
Tom. The first one is I've turned everything over to my attorney and asked him to deal with it. Anybody is welcome. I think you have. You've talked to him in the past.
I haven't turned anything over to the
You turned your questions over to him.
I've got some I would ask him.
Yeah, and anybody, as he's indicated to me, he's welcome to talk to anybody about it, and I've let him deal with this, and I deal with my role with the city. Secondly,
Graham.
well, you asked about campaign
Right.
reform, I think.
That's
yeah.
right.
On campaign reform, I have reintroduced. The council didn't move on it. I reintroduced the legislation. It was the first bill that I transmitted to the council at the beginning of this council session. I have spoken everywhere or anywhere that people will let me talk about it. I think that this is overdue. I think the council should move on it. There's not a necessity for another hearing to be held. They could mark up this bill. They could make whatever changes they think are important in it. But I think it's time to move on. I think the proposal that we've put together, which our Attorney General has played an enormous role in, he has appeared before the council. He's been very eloquent in talking about this proposal. I think it's a sound proposal.